Hey YouTube, Electric Adventures here with my monthly update for October 2014. Well, quite a busy month, especially for my work again. For those who don't know, I work for a bank in the IT department in software development, and this time of the year it'd be pretty crazy. So I had lots and lots of projects going, so other stuff and end of year things for kids. I've got 4 kids. Running around after them can drive anybody insane. So, yes. Now I have got some pickups for this month. I was actually surprised because I wasn't planning on buying anything particular, but I did forget about a pre-order that I put in. And the very fact that it's sealed is a bit sad because it means I haven't started playing yet. But I pre-ordered Alien Isolation for the PS3. I still not looking at going for a PS4 or an Xbox One anytime soon. So this is a sort of game I didn't really want to miss out on, and wait until I got one of those consoles. Looking forward to playing for it. I also, and I didn't actually bring the copy out, I found a cheap copy of Alien Colonial Marines. I am actually playing that now, and my word, that's a bad game. Bad collision detection, bad story elements, but I'm pedantic and I'm going to finish that first before I play this. I'm not 100% sure whether I'll play another game before or in between, or I might just go straight onto this. I mean, I'm playing it and I've had 2 sessions in it, and I think I've pretty much made it halfway through the game already. And you just plug through. I've got no want to go and find all the special items and everything like that. So looking forward to that one. Now also, as part of my pre-order, I got this tin. So I got this from our EB Games, which is I suppose the same as GameStop elsewhere. So all it is a tin, and it has disc holders in there. I'm not 100% sure about taking, and it's got Alien Isolation on the side. I'm not 100% sure about taking the game out of there and putting it in there, but we'll see what happens when I actually open it. And as part of that pre-order, I wasn't going to go. There was another special edition above that, but that was another $20, and I can't really afford that sort of thing. But this version came with the Art of Alien Isolation book. Now, I'm not going to flip through that either. I'll have a look at that in my own time. So, looking forward to playing that. Now, I went to one of our local markets, and that same seller selling a few things, and I didn't really see anything I wanted to get. And I saw this NES game. I don't know what it's like. It's an Activision game. I mean, I'm not even particularly into collecting NES games. Now it's got an A on it, so it's an Australian one, and it's Rad Gravity. So I haven't had a chance to have a game of it yet, but just an oddity to add to the NES collection. And obviously I didn't have it, so yeah, and it looks in reasonable condition. A little bit of a label lift there, but I think that was, I can't remember where he sells them for $5 or $10. I think they're only $5, so it's worth, grabbing. There are other titles there, but I wasn't particularly interested in them. And then another interesting thing, a little like one of those temporary shops that pop up, in places when you get closer to Christmas. It's a clearance store, and they're obviously selling the stock from ex-rental stock from a chain that's shut down on the mainland, and they've come down here to sell it. And they had a whole lot of PS3 and Xbox games. And Wii games. I didn't find anything in the PS3 and Xbox games that I particularly wanted, but they actually had 2 copies of this, and I am a Resident Evil fan, and I thought that might be fun to replay. So, and that was I'm getting this $5 and $10 thing anyway. It was $5 or $10. I'm happy with $10. There we go. Receipt's still in there. So there we go. Yeah, as you can see, it's an X-Rental. There's a little sticker here on the book, but other than that, there's no other like rental marks on there, and everything's in pretty good condition. Must admit, I've never looked at the disc. If I can get it out of the case. And not that I've played a Wii game for a while. There's nothing wrong with the disc either, so that's good. I actually do have our Wii spare because we've got a Wii U, which is in our main lounge room, and I've been meaning to set up the Wii out here so I can play a few games. So I thought I might do that, or I can just play that on the Wii U, and we'll see how we go. Oh, sorry for the shortcut there. Now I thought I'd answer a couple of community questions going there. One's a community question, the other one's a contest. I'll do the contest one first. So Kid Shorykun did a contest about a year ago, and it was a very novel contest. In this contest, you don't actually enter the contest yourself. What you do is you nominate 3 channels and enter them into the contest. And then it spreads around like that. It was the most original and novel idea for doing a contest, and a great way of combining channel shout-outs and goodwill, if you know what I mean. So rather than yourself entering into the contest, and the items he's giving away are particularly nice Japanese orientated items, which I'm into myself. I thought I'd spread it around a little bit, choosing a different person from a couple of different continents. So one small channel, Big G from SA down in South Africa, go check him out. He collects a lot of old computers and consoles, and he's been starting to go to some of the auctions down there, so he's an excellent channel to go and check out what it's like in South Africa as far as the retro gaming is concerned. And then my old mate, I haven't mentioned him for a while, EDT1138, or Ed as he likes to call himself. I haven't seen him get much Japanese stuff, and I don't think they have access to that much over in the US, so I'd like to enter Ed in the competition as well. And then another one of my old friends on YouTube, one MSX to go. He lives in one of the islands of Portugal. Once again, he doesn't have access to a lot of local stuff, so he relies on eBay and everything like that, so it'll be very nice for any one of those 3 people to win this prize. So I'll put links down to their channels down below, and I'll link to Kid Shorykun's original contest video, so you can go and find out the details. Anybody can take part and enter, but as I said, you don't enter yourself. What you do is you nominate 3 other people. Those 3 other people, if they do another video, they of course may nominate you back for the competition. Everybody can only have 1 entry. It doesn't matter how many times they're picked by people, and it's a great way of doing channel shout-outs, and probably the best way to run a contest ever on YouTube, I think. So that's that one. Now the next one is the 5 random questions that have been going around YouTube. It's not sure whether it was specifically tagging people or open tag. Some people listed as open tag. I believe it was started by Pro B-Man 5 and Sega CD Universe. I can't be sure. There's heaps of these videos around, but I just thought it was a nice one to answer, and a few of my, the guys I've known for quite a while on YouTube have answered it, and they're good questions. So the first one, number 1, is what state do you live in? Now, we actually do have states here in Australia, and I live in Tasmania, which is the main state in Australia, as illustrated by this graphical map that'll pop up at the moment. Tasmania, we allow the capital of Australia to be on the mainland, but that's just to keep them happy. But the real organisation of Australia happens here in Tasmania. Also explains why I find it very hard going to any retro events, because they don't have many down here. Now, how did I get into collecting? Now, a lot of the stuff, my collection is a mixture of stuff that I've had from back in the day. Back in the day, I mostly had computers, not consoles. But I suppose you could say, and even some of those, the only actual console that I had of my own was a ColecoVision for a while, and even that I sold off and got the Coleco adapter from my Spectra Video computer. I kept one of the controllers from the ColecoVision, and that's the only thing I have left from that original ColecoVision, is that controller. And the games, I threw the boxes away, of course, being a silly person. At some stage in the future, I then traded that off when I got into the newer Spectra Video computer, so I don't have that anymore. But I used to go around to my friend's place and play on his Atari 2600. And when he moved interstate, out of Tasmania, he actually gave me this box one day, and it contained his Atari 2600, which actually is sitting right behind my chair. I'm not going to be able to move it. I'm reorganising the layer at the moment. Sorry, coffee. Nothing better than Pac-Man coffee. It's a proper coffee too. So, and it had all these games. None of them had boxes, bar the Indy 500, which is the most faded of them. There you can barely see it. So most of the other boxed Atari items on there I have obtained from various lots after that. But I ran a store, and in that store I had a Mega Drive and a Super Nintendo, and I actually also had an Atari Jaguar. I never used to take them home from the store, they were at the store, so I played a few games in those. So I didn't really, and the titles were incredibly expensive. It was very hard to compete with the large chain stores because the Nintendo cartridges, you had virtually no margin on them, so it was very dangerous stocking titles if you didn't sell them. So mainly we had it in there for people to play while they were in the store. When I shut the store down, my brother-in-law bought the Mega Drive. The Super Nintendo I took home because I really wanted that. I had Super Star Wars and Super Empire Strikes Back. And the Jaguar, well, the one we had I sold way before we shut the shop down, so I didn't actually have that very long. Probably about, I started going to markets, selling off the stock from that shop, to get some money back and everything like that. And then at one of those markets, I had second thoughts about the Mega Drive, and I bought another second-hand Mega Drive, and that went down to my holiday home and stayed down there for quite a period of time. All my computers ended up in storage in my shed, time went by. I think later on I found a TI 994A, because my original very, very first computer was a TI 994. Got one of those holiday magazines and games and played with that for a while. That sort of got me a bit more interested, and I found, because we never got MSX2 or 2 Plus machines over here, and I got hold of 2 MSX2 machines from the Netherlands. The first one arrived dead on arrival. That's still with my electronics guy. Unfortunately, the board warped inside it. You can actually get it working apparently, by pinning the board down. And the other one is the one that I use on a regular basis here. And that was probably it for a little while, and then at some stage I discovered discovered YouTube, and that's probably 4 years ago now. And started watching a few things. Found another couple of bundles. I probably got the Atari XEGS system that I have over there with a whole lot of games. Got a couple more Atari 2600 bundles, and started building the collection up from there. And that included, reacquiring and television. All the PS2 games. I've had a PS2 game for a PS2 system for many years. It's probably been the main one that my kids have used as well. We've probably got about 5 of them throughout the house, and thus all the PS2 games you look up there are just ones that have accumulated over time. I've probably only, in this new collecting phase, I've probably only picked up about a dozen games for the PS2, because we already had so many. GameCube I've had since new, so never lost that one, but I've added a few good key titles to it, so that's probably way too much for question number 2, but that's the meat and potatoes of this particular set of questions. Number 3, what does your wife think of your hobby? Well, my wife's always, been a game player as well herself. When we had the Nintendo 64, that's probably about the time, and also the PS2 after that. The Nintendo 64, she played Zelda, and I played Zelda. She actually completely finished Zelda Ocarina of Time. I never actually finished the final boss battle. That's a common thing with me. Never quite finishing games. Because I am, at the end of the day, a programmer more than I am a game player sometimes. She also played Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance with me on the PS2 when we got that. But then you know, she probably branched off into Facebook games to start with, and then the iPads came along, and finally some of those games encompassed the functionality that she liked in the Facebook games. Especially, you know, after you went through the Candy Crush stage and everything like that, she likes the farm simulation type games, and she's got a few of those on the iPad that she plays all the time. She looks at my collection and comes in here, and she doesn't mind too much because she knows. I mean, we've got 4 daughters, and they have friends come around, and especially even surprisingly, the arcade machine that we have was a lesser struggle than I thought it would be. Probably if I wanted to have a second, I mean, I am eventually going to have a second one because I want a horizontal orientation one for the Neo Geo games and some of the horizontal scrollers like R-Type and stuff like that. But I'm going to build that completely myself rather than buy another cabinet. So, you know, she likes that sort of thing. This is an entertainment area. She doesn't like it getting too messy. And our daughters dance and everything like that, so I do need to keep the central space clear. This particular winter it has gotten particularly messy. I seriously need to do a garage sale to clear out some of kids' toys and various bits and pieces, and probably build some shelves. She wants me to completely rebuild the side I've got all the retro computers on into more cupboard type storage, and I was going to rearrange things a little bit, so I haven't quite got a plan planned out, but I'm going to move a few things around. And also this desk that I sit at here, my work desk is actually there. I only really had 2 desks in the first place because I had somebody here working with me. That's not going to happen again, so I'm going to reorganise this space as well. Good to have a spring clean and everything like that occasionally. Favourite game of all time? I really should have thought about this one. I didn't actually pick something before I started the video. Now I've got to think of something. Now, I really do like shoot 'em ups, but I also like games with a bit more to them. And look, as much as I like retro games, I still do like you know, some of the more modern games where you can sink your teeth in. And this may come as a surprise to many, but I actually really like the Metal Gear series of games. So, you know, you've got a bit of an action, some first-person shooter elements in some of the versions. But you know, the strategy and sneaking around and stuff like that, and with a little bit of story, I'd go for that one at the moment. It's one of those questions you ask me again at another stage, and I'll probably give you a different answer. I think we need another sip of coffee. So, number 5, first person you ever subscribed to. It's pretty easy. I mean, there are a bunch of them that were done in a short space of time, because once I've discovered one, I discovered more. But the very first person that I subscribed to was, at the time, Mark Vergier, and of course now Lactobacillus Prime. He had to recreate his channel under another name for work reasons. And he's been a very good mate to me ever since as well. But in those early people I subscribed to would also have been Steve Benway, Lawn Boys Post 1975, Ed T1138, 1MSX to go, Crow. There's probably some people I'm missing. Well, Retro Gamer VX as well. I've been following his crazy antics for a long time. It's just great to. I probably watch more YouTube than I watch TV now. I've completely gone off normal live TV. Watch a bit of you know, recorded TV series and things like that, or I'll sit down and watch a movie, or I'll watch YouTube. It's become my new entertainment medium, and I think it's great. Watching what you want to watch when you want to watch it, rather than regimented by what's on TV. And of course, I like programming sometimes too. So just busy life and everything like that. My retro homebrew programming has really not made a lot of progress in the last couple of months. But it's getting towards the time of the year where I can get myself sorted and settled. So this is anyway, that's the 5 questions. Feel free to answer them as well, but also hunt out Pro B-Man 5 and Sega CD Universe as well to see the original set of videos. It's just good to answer these community questions sometimes. Now this month also I started a new series. It wasn't planned to start a new series. It was sort of responding to, it was inspired by a tag started, I can't for the life of me remember who started now, but it was the A to Z of your collection, where they were asking people to pick 26 games out of their collection, A to Z, from anywhere, and talk about them. And I thought, well, there's a bit of a spin on that, and I haven't actually. My MSX collection is actually quite reasonable nowadays, and I'm quite proud of it. And a very good way for me to get in and replay a game is to do a video on it. It's just a good driver. So I thought, why not do A to Z of my MSX collection? I've recorded a couple of episodes so far, and I've uploaded one. So probably the next one of those will be the video that will be uploaded after this one in a day or so. And I'm actually quite enjoying those, and I've got very good positive reception. So I'll put a link down below to the first one of those. But also, I haven't forgotten about last month. I announced I was going to do a series on creating your own retro homebrew game. Now I want to make sure that I don't just start this series and then it peters out. I'm planning it. I've started adding a section to my website to support it. There'll actually be sort of like a downloadable document for each episode where you can go in and a zip file containing all the materials talked about in that episode. I have designed the game that we're going to build, and I've designed some graphics, and starting to put in some code together, because obviously I have to have this all prepared as we work through. So very soon we'll start that series, and it's going to be changing the name slightly because that one got a bit too long. So let's make a retro homebrew game. That's what the series is going to be called. I want to spend a little time, make a nice set of titles for it and everything like that. Can't seem to convince my two graphic design student daughters to do those particular things for me at the moment, but I'll see if I can coerce them a bit more. Otherwise, I'll do it myself. So I'm actually looking forward to that, and that because as I said, I'm just so busy with work, after work and everything like that. It's hard, and I keep on having only short periods of time, which, if for those other programmers out there, time and not being interrupted and getting your mind in the right space to program is actually an art in itself. And different people have different times of the day where they're most productive. And I just don't seem to be able to get myself in that right frame of mind lately. I'm trying to, construct things as it is. Also, other things coming up. I'm actually trying to not buy anything else at all, but I actually have sitting around me here several pickups that have come in that I just have not had the time to, other than, take them out of the wrapping to make sure that I got what I ordered, but to, do a video and do the gameplays. I'm pretty strict. I'm not going to play the games until I'm ready to make gameplay on them. I have also more than one retro system here, sitting here, that I haven't done a video on yet. So I really am way behind on videos, but I don't want to rush things. So plenty of content coming soon. So I just need to pace myself and get myself organised. And as we lead up to Christmas, I hope everybody is, looking forward to having a good Christmas season. So hopefully this video hasn't gone on too long and I haven't rambled too much, but well, I've got a coffee hopefully you have as well, or a beverage of your liking. Thank you all for watching, thanks to all my subscribers, and I'll catch you next time.